What if I told you that the bottle of full synthetic oil sitting in your garage right now might just be regular crude oil, refined a little harder, with a fancier word slapped on the front? No, I'm not talking about some sketchy off-brand from a gas station bargain bin. I'm talking about some of the biggest names on the shelf. And the wild part, it's completely legal. There's an actual court ruling from the late 1990s that opened the door for this, and almost nobody knows it exists. Today we're going bottle by bottle through 9 of the most popular full synthetic oils sold in the US, and we're separating the ones built the way you'd expect a synthetic to be built, from the ones riding on a 25-year-old legal technicality. By the end of this video, you'll never grab a jug off the shelf the same way again. Let's get into it. The backstory. Why this loophole exists. Quick chemistry lesson. I promise it's painless. Traditional conventional oil comes straight from crude oil pumped out of the ground, then refined and filtered. True synthetic oil is different. It's engineered at the molecular level, built up from base chemical compounds rather than just filtered from crude. That extra engineering is supposed to be why synthetics handle heat better, resist breaking down, and protect your engine longer. Here's where it gets interesting. Back in the late 1990s, Moly sued Castrol, arguing that Castrol had no business calling its oil synthetic when the base was, essentially, very heavily processed crude oil, not a lab-built compound. Castrol's defense was simple. If you refine crude oil aggressively enough using a hydroprocessing method, the resulting molecules end up structurally similar to true synthetic molecules. The court sided with Castrol. That ruling didn't just settle one lawsuit. It basically told the entire industry that full synthetic doesn't legally require lab-built base oil. Heavily refined crude can wear the same label. And that's the crack in the door that a lot of brands have walked through ever since. So with that in mind, let's look at what's actually inside 9 of the most popular bottles in America. The list starts weaker, builds to strong. 1. Castrol Edge. We have to start here, since Castrol is the brand at the center of that original court case. Castrol Edge is marketed as their flagship full synthetic, and it's a genuinely capable oil. It performs well in independent testing, with good cold flow numbers and decent shear stability. But it's worth knowing that the foundation of that performance traces back to the very refining process the lawsuit was about. It's not fake oil by any stretch. It's just not built the way a lot of people assume synthetic means, and that matters when you're paying a premium price expecting a premium process. 2. Peak Full Synthetic. This one is a budget aisle regular, and it behaves like one. It clears the minimum industry specs to legally wear the synthetic label, but the additive package, the stuff that actually fights wear, sludge, and oxidation under real driving stress, tends to be lighter than what you get from the premium brands. You're not getting poisoned, and your car will run fine on it. But you're also not getting much more than a basic refined oil wearing a name that's designed to make you feel like you upgraded. 3. Quaker State Full Synthetic. Here's a fun fact. Quaker State and Pennzoil are owned by the same parent company, Shell. Shell has genuinely advanced gas-to-liquid base oil technology. More on that in a minute, but that tech doesn't show up in the Quaker State bottle, which sticks closer to a conventional refined base. So, same parent company doesn't mean same oil, and it definitely doesn't mean same protection. Keep that one in your back pocket. It matters later in this list. 4. Valvoline Daily Protection Synthetic Blend. Quick PSA on a phrase, not just a brand. Synthetic blend is one of the loosest terms in the entire automotive aisle. There's no regulated minimum ratio. A blend could legally be a small percentage synthetic and mostly conventional oil, and you'd never know it from the bottle. Valvoline sells this right alongside its true full synthetic line, in similar packaging, at a lower price. If you're shopping by price alone and grab the blend thinking you're getting a discount on the same protection, you're not getting a discount, you're getting a different product. Treat any blend product like conventional oil, because chemically, that's the bulk of what's actually in there. 5. STP Full Synthetic. STP made its name in fuel additives, and its oil lineup is harder to dig into. Safety data sheets and base oil disclosures aren't as easy to find as they are with the bigger oil-specific brands. That alone isn't proof of anything shady, but transparency matters in this category, and STP's lineup also doesn't comfortably cover the ultra-thin viscosity grades a lot of newer engines now require, like 0W16 or 0W20 spec vehicles. Read that however you'd like, but it's at least worth a second look before you commit a whole oil change interval to it. 6. Idemitsu Full Synthetic. This one's almost the opposite problem. It's actually a well-regarded oil, popular with Toyota and Honda owners, with solid volatility and formulation numbers in third-party testing. But it still leans on that same refined crude foundation rather than a fully lab-built base. So you've got a genuinely good product, priced at a premium, built on the same legal technicality as the budget brands. That gap between reputation and base oil reality is exactly why it sits in the middle of this list instead of the top. That's 6 oils built, at least in part, on the door that 1999 court case opened. Quick gut check before we move on. None of this means you need to panic and drain your oil tonight. It just means the word on the front of the bottle isn't doing the job you assumed it was doing. Now let's flip to the 3 that didn't need that loophole at all. 7. Pennzoil Platinum/Ultra Platinum. Remember Quaker State's missing technology from a minute ago? This is where it went. Pennzoil's Pure Plus technology converts natural gas into a base oil with a crystal-clear, consistent molecular structure. Shell has published cleanliness testing showing engines run with very low deposit buildup using this base. For modern turbocharged engines, which punish weak oil fast, this is one of the more legitimately next-level base oils on a mainstream shelf, and it's priced close to the brands that aren't doing this. 8. Liqui Moly Synth Oil. German engineering reputation aside, Liqui Moly synthetic lines are generally built on true lab-formulated base stock and are held to some of the tougher European performance approvals, which test more aggressively for high-temperature stability, exactly what turbocharged and high-performance engines need. It costs more than some of the flashier branded bottles, but the premium is going into the base oil itself, not just the marketing budget. 9. AMSOIL Signature Series. AMSOIL has a unique claim here. They produced the first American-made true synthetic motor oil back in 1972, decades before this whole labeling fight even started. Signature Series is still built on genuine lab-engineered base stock today, and that shows up in independent testing, particularly in how little oil is lost to evaporation under sustained high heat, a number where heavily refined crude oils tend to fall noticeably behind true synthetics. AMSOIL never needed the 1999 ruling to call their oil synthetic. They were already doing it the hard way. So here's the bottom line: full synthetic on a label tells you almost nothing about what's actually in the bottle, because of one court case most drivers have never heard of. The fix isn't to panic or assume every brand is lying to you, it's to actually look past the front label. Check for the base oil technology, look up independent volatility and additive testing, and don't assume blend or premium price automatically means better protection. Your engine doesn't care what the bottle says. It only cares what's actually inside it. If you found this useful, drop a comment with the oil you're currently running. I read every one of them. And if you want the deep dive on viscosity grades and how to actually read an oil spec sheet, that video's coming next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.